Hello, everyone. Welcome to class today. Sun Priest, welcome, welcome, welcome. Were you present at the one? Did you show up? Were you in class? Welcome to class. Welcome to class. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm super excited that we're doing this today. Yesterday, over 40 of you showed up in class. Uju Ruth, I see you. Welcome. How are you doing today? Who else is in the building? Tell me your name, where you're joining us from. Very soon, our programs, we're going to be having moderators. So the moderators will get to welcome you before I come on board. You know. All right. So, how are you all doing today? Welcome to class. If you can hear me, say, I can hear you. Let me know you can hear me clearly. Shisom is here. Shisom, you're welcome to class. I celebrate you. Thank you for joining in. Who else is in the class? Let me see those of you that are live with us. All right. Do you have any question from yesterday you love to clarify? If you do, go ahead and drop it in the comments as well. Okay, I would only answer questions while I'm live. Please, please, and please. Because of shadows, I would only answer questions when I'm live. Okay, so you can hear me. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Now, tell me what stood out for you yesterday. What stood out for you from our day one session? Tell me in the comments. I love to read your feedback. What stood out for you? What stood out for you? Yeah. I would love to read from you. Tell me in the room. Tell me in the room what stood out for you from day one. Yesterday, I asked us to do the assignment. In fact, at some point, I had to sit back. I was just reading through your thoughts, your benefit from the class, your assignment, and everything you shared in the room. I was just taking them in. Thank you so much for availing yourself. Thank you so much for showing up to be here today again as we continue on this journey. This is Designing a Productive Year webinar series. We decided to make it a series so that we can be fully immersed. That's the reason we're here. We decided to make it a series so we can be fully what? Immersed. Okay. Someone is sharing what they learned from yesterday's session. So we're just going to start from there. So you can keep sharing. Sound Priest says, once you know your values, everything gets easier. Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Thank you so much. Beautiful, profound, profound. In fact, I'm currently working on a value compass guide that's going to help you. In fact, all that I shared yesterday on values and more will be on that guide. You should get the guide between now and on Friday. The guide will be made available. All right. So get yourself ready to get the guide. Get yourself ready for that. It's going to be for a token like something you can use to buy a shawarma. All right. So we're going to make it available. Okay, who else gained something yesterday? Tell us what you gained from the class yesterday. Okay, another person says, what stood out for me was I should, which of the screen should I read it from? Yeah, clarity is doing one thing, just one thing. Interesting. I'm going to emphasize on that one thing again today because I need it to sink in. That's what we're talking about priority today. All right. So, what stood out for me was I should not do multiple things at a time and stop overthinking. Interesting. Stop overthinking. Stop doing multiple things at the same time. Stop doing multiple things at the same time. What else stood out for you? Uju says, what stood out for me is clarity is doing one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I recommended a book yesterday. How many of you have gone on to get the book by Jay Paterson and Gary Keller? The One Thing. That's the title of the book by J. Paterson and Gary Keller. Such a beautiful book. So much emphasized on the need for one thing. All right. When we want to start looking at one thing on a deeper level, we have to understand that there is something that is really tagging at us per season that we need to focus on in whatever area of life that it is. Could be in our business, in all that we do. Okay, Chisom says, let's read from Chisom. Okay, Chisom says, 80% of your result comes from 20% of your efforts. Interesting. 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. So, which is to say, this is one strategy I also teach when it comes to reading. I always tell my people, see, it's not about reading 100 books in a year. In 2020, I read over 200 books. It was a marathon. Okay, but did I remember everything? No, obviously I did not. I cannot even do that. I cannot even remember all of them. But one thing I like to say again and again is, if you can do one book in a month, two books in a month, four books in a month, all right? An average CEO does 4 to 6 books every month. So if you're a CEO here, by next month, we're going to be having a marathon reading challenge next month. I hope you join us in that reading challenge. It's going to be an interesting one like you've never seen before. We're looking forward to a 14 days challenge. Hopefully, we're going to be reading maybe two books in that challenge. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. It's going to be marathon, but it's going to be paid. I will tell you guys about it if you would like to participate. All right. So, purpose is not loud, but a direction. Interesting. Interesting. So, you can see that if you are going to read, if you're going to read just one book in a season, like this is the book we're currently reading in the Growth Garden. That's why you see me talking about this book. How many of you can see the title? The Mountain is You by Brianna Wiest. The Mountain is You by Brianna Wiest. I had to go look for the hard copy. This is the book we're currently reading in the membership. Our Growth Garden is such a powerful, profound book. So much light in this book. So much light. So before I continue, tomorrow's class is going to be by 8 p.m., 8 p.m. Nigeria time. The reason is because I will be engaged in other areas. So I'll be coming in by 8 p.m. All right. Let's read what Ellen has to share with us from. Ellen says, from what she gained yesterday. Ellie says, what stood out for me was clarity is not doing many things but one thing. Also, purpose is not a destination, it's a direction. Interesting. Lounging Soul, I remember this name, says purpose is not a destination but a direction. Interesting. How many of you got the purpose clarity workbook that was shared in the group? We shared the purpose clarity workbook for you to go get it for a token. Do where to get it. It's going to help you. It's a 5 days challenge. Very simple. You can read it in one sitting in less than an hour. That is going to do for you is to help you structure what your purpose project should look like for the season. Yeah, what your purpose project should look like for the season. And for those of you that have been thinking like this is 2026, you want to really do something as it connect to your vision, as it connect to the blueprint that God is laying in your heart, structure is going to make it easier for you to implement. There are several things I have done over the years. If there was no structure, it would have been so difficult for me to implement. It would have been so difficult for me to implement. And I remember as a young in my early 20s, I used to write down my vision, I used to write down my goals, I used to scribble them down, but I didn't have a pathway for execution. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a purpose project. That's what that book is about. You would understand how to structure your purpose project. It's not really just about moving around in circles, doing things haphazardly. There has to be a structure for implementation, right? To say this is the project for the season. Let's zone in. What results can we get? Okay, like what I'm doing right now is my purpose project. This is designing the product, your productive year. All right, it's my purpose project for the season. It's a 10 days immersion, and I'm sold in. Right, I'm ready for this. Okay, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to do this. Everything about my life right now for this next 10 days. At the end of the day, it's still targeted towards designing a productive year webinar series. Do you see that? There has to be a purpose project. Somebody asked me a question about purpose yesterday. What did I tell you? I said I have a program, an event coming up in February. We have a reading challenge coming up in February. We also have a purpose event coming up in February, right? So on and on and on. I know, okay, this is a program for April. This is this for this. It's a purpose project for me, and you have to be able to do that as well. It has a way of helping you to zone in, to truly focus on what matters most. I'm telling you, it has a way of helping you to zone in. So, for example, this mountain is the book we're currently reading in the Growth Garden. It really aligns with our conversation for January and February, according to our curriculum for the community, right? So it's the one thing for us. We're not looking forward to so many things. Next month, we're reading another book, right? Is the one thing for us. So one thing has a way of shifting your perspective. As you all know, focus indeed is a magnifier. I like you to write that in the comments. Focus is a magnifier. Following one thing until there's success. Following one course until success. That's focus. FOCUS. Following one course until success. So it is a magnifier. It's a fundamental principle in the universe. Whatever it is that you focus on is going to magnify. If you focus on the fact that you're not good enough, you're going to begin to see everything around you that will make you believe same. That will make you believe that of a truth, you are not good enough. That's how life works. That will make you believe same. If you believe that, oh, I'm a beautiful woman, I'm this, I'm that, it's going to help you believe same. All right. So whatever it is that you focus on, that's why we say one thing, one thing, one thing, not two, not 10, not five, one thing. Okay. Who can tell me what the topic of today is? What are we talking about today? Somebody should type that in the room. What are we talking about today? What are we talking about today? Yes, focus is a magnifier. Following one thing until what? Success. That's what focus is. I love focus. Maybe we should. In fact, I saw someone on LinkedIn. Is a focus coach. When I saw them, I'm like, oh my God, these are our Yibos. They are wonderful people. He's a focus coach. Yeah, he wrote it that way, focus coach. I think I followed him also. I'll go check it again. Focus coach. All right. You can see that some of the things we emphasize you can just pick it up as a project. You say, oh, I'm going to be teaching children how to focus. I'm going to be teaching teenagers how to focus. I'm going to start a community where I would inspire women, men and women on how to focus. It is one thing. It is one thing. Okay? It is one thing. Yes, it is one thing. So, what are we talking about today? Purpose, clarity, and priority mapping is the conversation for today. Purpose, clarity, and priority mapping. Mapping. Yes, Uju. Focus coach. Yeah. All right. That is it. Purpose, clarity, and priority mapping. Priority mapping. That's what we're looking at today. So let me share my slide so that we can take this to the next level. Designing a productive year, day 2. Yeah. Yesterday we started off with the clarity conversation. So we're going to continue today. So I can move from purpose to priority. So welcome back. Yesterday you identified your value, your core values. Did you? Okay. If you did not, you have not been able to zone in. You should get my value compass guide that's coming up by the weekend. All right, to be available for you to. They're currently putting the final structure together, the designs and everything. Okay, so it will be available. Try and get that guide. It will help you. I'm going to make it. I'm going to offer it to you at a ridiculous price of $1. So get yourself prepared to get that that guide, and it's going to be available for just maybe 24 hours for that amount if you want to get it. So get yourself ready to get the guide. Mm. Yes, little things that make all the difference. So today we are translating your purpose into priorities. It is important. Knowing what matters most is one thing. Living it so well is another thing. That's where the magic happens. Do you see that? That is where the magic happens. Did you see that? Knowing what matters is one thing. Living it daily. That's where the magic happens. That is where the magic happens. Living it so well is where the magic happens. So now let's go on. Are you excited? If you're excited, tell me I'm excited. Tell me I'm excited. So the assignment of yesterday was for you to identify 3 to 5 core values. Remember, I said that as you continue on this journey, you're going to realize that it's actually a journey, and there's so much that God is going to be laying in your heart per season, right? For you to really execute well and not get burnt out. People who teach on stress management, most of the things they talk about is the need for you to understand your values, your purpose. Because if you do not know all of that, you cannot create a balance between work and life. They call it work-life balance, isn't it? You cannot create a balance. So yesterday we spoke about identifying your core values, writing down your purpose statement. I saw a lot of those, and I told you, do not be afraid to say this is my purpose statement. Yeah, you cannot remember. Purpose is not a destination; it's direction. All right, you are on a journey. You are constantly evolving. You are constantly evolving. So because you're constantly evolving, your purpose statement will also evolve. Don't be afraid to evolve per season. Don't be afraid to evolve. Don't be afraid to pivot from level to level. That's where we got it wrong at the early onset. We thought, oh, my purpose is this, it has to be that way. No, purpose is direction. Okay. If you did your assignment yesterday, I want you to know that you are 90% already ahead of every other person. 90% ahead. If you did not do it yesterday, do it today. Everything we are building requires that foundation. Requires that foundation. Do you see that? Everything we are building requires that foundation. Yes, knowing what matters is one thing. Living it daily is where the magic happens. I know it's not always easy, family. It's not always easy. I will tell you, since I started out on this journey, it has not been easy. My life has been regimented in so many ways. There are several things I cannot do. There are places I cannot go. Places that interest people, I can no longer go to those places. Things that make people feel excited. I don't feel excited about them anymore, right? And things that makes people feel bored. Sometimes there are the things that excite me. Do you see that? How can you sit down in one place like for hours and be reading? Come on, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Are you writing an exam? Like people would always ask me, do you have an exam to write tomorrow? Why are you always reading? What's going on with you? So that is purpose for me. It's purpose that has made my life so it is not my fault. All right. So the gap between knowing and doing is your priorities. The gap between knowing and doing is your priority. Many a times people know what matters. They know what matters. Yesterday, I recommended the book Eat That Frog. I don't know if you've gotten the book, right? You should actually start planning to join us in the Growth Garden. We have a community called the Growth Garden. It's a 1 year long membership, right? I'm still going to be telling you guys about it as we continue on the journey, all right? But registration is actually closing this month ending. We started out since last month. If you still like to join us, you're welcome aboard. We'd love to have you in the Growth Garden. All of these books are there. We have a library. We read, we learn, I coach, we stay accountable, everything that has to do with personal development to help you stay productive, to help you stay aligned. So that gap between knowing and doing, that gap between knowing and doing is your priority. That is how you bridge it. A lot of us want to optimize our doable initiatives. We want to be productive. We want to be productive because that's what the world has actually opened us up to be productive, isn't it? So we wake up on a daily basis, we have our to-dos, we have the things we want to achieve, right? But beyond achievement, all right, beyond achievement, beyond to-dos, beyond I want to do this and I want to do that, beyond all of those things, beyond all of those things, you simply just begin to realize that there is so much that really can help us stay purposeful on a daily basis, right? Because productivity is already what the world expects from us. But purpose is what God expects from us, right? The world expects you to be productive, to be everywhere. Yes, she's doing well, he's doing well, all right? You have built your house before 25. Before 30, your children are already in school. Before 40, you already have your second child as a graduate. All right, you already have all that you need. You've traveled around how many countries of the world? That's productivity. That's not what God expects of us 100%. God expects us to be productive, but beyond productivity, God expects us to be purposeful. All right, God expects us to be purposeful. Do you see that? God expects us to be purposeful. Beyond productivity, God expects you to be what? Purposeful. So the gap between knowing is called priority. Okay? Uju, the membership is $100 for the rest of the year, right? It's $100. That's 150K. So the gap between knowing and doing is called priority. So today we want to close that gap. We want to close it because, like I said yesterday, if you know how a thing works, it works better. If you know how a thing works, it works better. Purpose, clarity, and priority mapping. We're talking about purpose, clarity, and priority mapping. So our emphasis today is on how to move from purpose to priority, right? We're not just saying be productive, but we're saying move from purpose to priority. Do you see that? Because for us to bridge the gap between our knowing and our doing, there has to be prioritization. Do you see that? There has to be what? Prioritization. So did you get that? So this is what we are covering today. We want to translate purpose into daily actions. The priority pyramid framework, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to identify one thing and then we're going to say no without feeling guilty. Yesterday I told you that no is a complete sentence, right? And how to design our ideal week. So by the end, you're going to move and leave this class with an actionable plan. So what I'm going to do for someone who will stay to the end of this class and is very active, I don't know how we're going to define that activeness, but I have my assistant in the comments. They're going to get to me and tell me who the most active is. I'm going to gift you the book Purpose Project. All right, the Purpose Project workbook. I'm going to gift you that book. All right, if you haven't bought it yet. All right, but if you bought it, we'll get you another book. I've shared a lot of books. Okay, so make sure you stay connected. Here is the harsh truth about priorities. You don't have 10 priorities, you only have one. Everything else, everything else follows. Here is something that really opened me up, all right, many months ago while I was making a research about priority. I was reading a lot of books on prioritization. I told you I was getting certified in the world of productivity, so I wanted to make more research and just learn more. Something touched my heart. The word priority was singular until the 1900s. The 1900s. All right. That was that was it. It was singular. It meant the very first thing. You can do anything but not everything, according to David Allen. David Allen is such a great guy on the world of prioritization. If you want to research more, right? You can go read more about David Allen's work. All right. So the word priority was still singular until the 1900s. Do you see that? So you can realize that the more priorities that you have, the less you can accomplish. The more you can have on your to-dos, the less you can accomplish. So multitasking reduces productivity by 40%. In fact, there's even a study that the moment you are working on something and then you get carried away to do one or two other things, at the end of the day, and then you decide to come back. Yes, that's the name, Langiso, David Allen. Yeah. And the end of the day, decide to come back. You're going to, for you to reset, it's going to take you a minimum of 23 minutes. A minimum of 23 minutes, which is to say that if you get distracted in every 1 hour of engagement, you are going to lose 23 minutes. All right, 23 minutes. Because the more you get distracted, you try to come back in and zone into the work, it is going to drain you. So your brain handles one cognitively demanding task at a time. So you've got to be ready to pick one and build everything else around it. Pick one and build everything else around it. Yes, Uju, more women need to hear this. A lot of women love to multitask. They love to do everything, right? Everything at the same time. Okay? But it is okay for us to also understand the need to pick one thing at a time, all right? And truly zoning. In fact, as I'm teaching this class, a lot of ideas are coming to my heart. Maybe we could even have the one thing conference where we could sort of talk about how to just talk about focus only for such an event. I mean, we could do it for women. Would you? What do you think? Oh my goodness, that's going to be so powerful. It's going to be so powerful. So, yesterday we crafted a purpose statement. Today, I want you to ask yourself, what one priority would make the biggest impact on your purpose? What one priority will make the biggest impact on your purpose? We're not talking about five, we're not talking about three, we're not talking about all of that. Just identify that one thing. Everything else becomes easier to filter. Everything else will become easier for you to filter. Okay? Everything else will become easier for you to filter. Just one thing. The moment I decided I'm going to be a personal development coach, a lot of times people reach out to me from my platform. Oh, Coach Faith, I want to learn more about finance, money. I'm not a finance coach. I'm sorry. I'm not a money coach. I'm still looking for you to help me. I cannot delve into that. I'm a personal development coach. I help you build capacity to optimize for impact, income, and influence. That's it. So when I teach you personal development, it will rub off on other areas of your life. But you see, money is not my major conversation. It's not. It's not my major conversation. Do you see that? It's not my major conversation. I'm a personal development coach. When you come into my space, when you come into my work, you are going to build capacity. Somebody should type capacity. Somebody should type capacity. You are going to build capacity. You're going to optimize yourself. You're going to get better. All right. All of those sabotages you'll be struggling with, they are going to fly out of the window. All right. They are going to fly out of the window. They are going to fly out of the window. So your struggle will minimize. Do you see that? It will minimize your struggle. A lot of things that you're struggling with will no longer be there. Do you see that? The moment you make the decision to build yourself. I started building capacity many years ago as a student. I remember most of my classmates would always laugh at me because everywhere I go, I carry books. When we start our reading challenge for February, I'm going to show you my bookshelf. I have a lot of books. I've read a lot of books over the years. I'm the book woman. People know me as a reading coach. I've written my first 6 books was on reading, right? I still want to write more on that. Okay. And I run a community, a global community. I have the project One Book to Impact, where we give out books. There's several things I do in the world of reading, right? But one thing, when they started laughing at me in those days, they would say, "Oh, you read too much. Oh, knowledge worker." They gave me a name, knowledge worker. I had to go check that. I had to go Google it. What's the meaning of knowledge worker? I realized that it's actually a thought leader, and that's what I do today, right? They even started calling me a thought leader, proud to even knowing the meaning of what the term was, right? And today I do it. So When I started building capacity, trust me, I was not looking for money. My parents were feeding me. I was also a businesswoman. I was selling books as well. I was selling books. I go to different institutions. I would carry big, big luggages. You needed to see me. In fact, there was this school I went to one day. I was frustrated. I went to UNIU. How many of you know UNIU? University of Uyo. I went there. I'd gone there with my books, baggages. I even borrowed some from a fellow colleague who was a bookseller. I went there with hundreds of books. On getting there, they said, "Oh man, we are on holiday right now. Oh my God, how will I go back with these books without selling?" The dog had me. I had to spread my books across the school gate. No, I spoke with the security man. I just stayed by the school gate under the hot scorching sun. I stayed there. I was just there. Nobody was buying. But I remember I had one customer. Somebody should type one customer. I will never forget that customer. That person, that man became a lifelong customer, right? He bought a lot of books for me that day, encouraged me. I was like, oh my God, a young woman doing this. You see what I'm saying? I said to be capacity, I wasn't even passionate about any other thing. One thing I always say, there are three currencies that goes with capacity building. Number one currency. Number one currency, somebody should write it down, is influence. Influence. You'll be your first influence. I'm not talking about influencing other people. I know we live in a world to the want to influence other people. You will influence yourself first. Your character will get better. Your mindset will be put in order. You'll be able to live in alignment with your inherent capacity and the things that God has placed on the inside. That is the first currency of personal growth, influence. The second currency is impact. When you fully influence yourself so well, you now begin to impact the next person. So once you type impact, you now begin to impact the next person. And the third one is what? Income. Many people don't stay long enough for income to come. I stayed, right? 15 years of deliberate book reading. People will laugh at me. I stayed. It was also in the same book I was reading. I came across a mind-blowing idea. It says you cannot be in the field for 5 years without becoming a consultant. That was the day I made up my mind. I told myself, come on now, I'm not a reading consultant. Come on, somebody should type reading strategist. I became a reading strategist when I came across that idea by Brian Tracy. I'll never forget. That was what led me to the journey of making a decision to start helping people to read, right? So, what am I saying in a nutshell? When you stay put on that journey, people will laugh at you. You will laugh at yourself. Sometimes you doubt yourself, but with consistency, you will get there. So that is why the priority pyramid is important. All right. Level one says they want your non-negotiable priority. Tell me your non-negotiable priority in the comments. What is your non-negotiable priority today? Okay. What is your non-negotiable priority? That is your level one at this pyramid, at this priority pyramid levels. You have to know your non-negotiable priority. Something you will not use to buy shawarma. Like it is what it is for you, right? It is what it is for you. You're non-negotiable. You're non-negotiable. You're non-negotiable. Level two, supporting priorities. These are your two to three enablers, okay, that will support your non-negotiable. All right, that will support your non-negotiable. These are your enablers. Your level three, they are the maintenance task. This one keeps your life running on a daily basis. Okay, it keeps your. I'm going to break it down. Then your level four are distractions. These ones you can easily let go of them. Okay, Uju says growth is my non-negotiable priority. Interesting. So everything else follows. Everything else follows. Your non-negotiable priority. What do you do on a daily basis that is a non-negotiable for you? If you read the book, The Free Time Formula, such a powerful book. How many of you love to have access to my library? Well, if you subscribe to our 1 year membership, the library is free. You have access to the library. We have over 200 resources, books I've read over the years, over 300 of them, right? Plus teaching and all of that. But if you want to get into the library without joining the membership, you can get it for $30 for the rest of the year. All of these things, I'm talking about the books and everything, they are in there, right? You have access to them there. Okay. So there's a book called The Free Time Formula. Come on now. If you read that book is a curriculum. That book is a full-blown curriculum. That book is a full-blown curriculum. The Free Time Formula. All right. In there, you're going to understand what your sand are, what your pebbles are, and what your rocks are. I call it the ROPS. ROPS formula. Your rock, your pebbles, your sand. On a daily basis, your non-negotiables are your rocks. Are your what? Rocks. The things that are immovable, that you must do on a daily basis. When you are setting your priority, you must know, Okay, this is what I must do this week. Every day you must zone in. There are different strategies we could talk about when it comes to how we can really begin to zone in. I don't want to overflood your heart with too numerous details, but I just want you to zone into that for now. Your rocks related to your non-negotiables. You know that this one, if I do it every day, it's going to influence every other areas of my life. It's going to influence them. All right, it's going to influence every areas of my life. So your maintenance, your supporting enablers now, and your supporting enablers are your what, are your pebbles, are your pebbles. You know, pebbles are smaller than rocks. So these are your three major things that will support what you are looking at for. Okay, if yours is growth, like Uju says, what are the three things that will support that growth? Remember, at the end of the day, you have an overarching goal that you are looking at for at the end of the day that you want to achieve. So your enablers must support your non-negotiables. Okay? And then your maintenance stars are your sand. Those ones are just to keep body and soul together. So by the time you're done with your non-negotiables, you move on to your what? Your enablers. If you don't have energy again, you can even go and sleep. Remember, your level 4, they are your distractions. Those ones you have to throw them away. Okay. We're also going to use the Eisenhower. The Eisenhower matrix is similar to this. It's quite relatable. Okay. When you go through that, it will help you to balance the conversation. So one is the one thing. The one thing. Okay. The one thing. Each time I mention the one thing, I always remember Jay Papasan and Gary Keller. Okay, Jay Papasan and Gary Keller. See, one thing that has helped me over the years in terms of productivity is that I'm a knowledge woman. I've seen that the reason a lot of times people struggle to keep up, they become overwhelmed after a while, is usually as a result of gaps. Whether you like it or not is the truth. It's as a result of gaps. All right? We do not understand how to bridge the gap between our knowing and our doing. Simple. It's not that we don't know enough. It is that we don't know how to bridge that gap. Even when we know sometimes, we are not setting priorities to ensure that we are able to keep up. Okay? To ensure that we're able to what? Keep up. So let's look at the level 1. The one thing. Level 1, your non-negotiables. Okay? Example, empower others. Your one thing could be that you want to create content every single day. So number 2 now could be what? Your number 2 could be what? Build family. That is also the purpose. You could say, I want to build family. So what do? You're present with your kids after work. Another example is you want to master a particular craft. Your one thing could be what? 2 hours of deep work daily. How many of you have read Deep Work by Cal Newport? That's also a great book. Okay. So your one thing must be protected. That is called your non-negotiable. So your supporting details now, or your supporting priorities, that's level 2. Okay. So if your one thing is to write a book, your supporting priority could be your health because you need energy to write, isn't it? Okay. Because you need what? You need energy to write. Another thing could be how you manage your calendar management. That would also protect your writing time. And then another thing could be saying no. These are your 3 enablers. If you want to write, they are your 3 enablers. Okay, so use that to relate back to your own life right now. What you are looking at for. What is that one thing for you want to achieve this week or this month of January? Mm-hmm. You have to put that in order. Then your level 3 now, let's also look at how we can put that together. Okay, in terms of maintenance, we're looking at, okay, maybe paying bills, grocery shopping, emails, routine meetings. You see all of these things, you can delegate them, you can automate them. Do you see that? You can delegate. The Eisenhower matrix also has a lot to say around this. Okay, so Eisenhower matrix, I'd like you to go study it. Once you go to Google or any platform, AI, any platform you use, you can use that to study. So this one, you don't allow it to consume your peak energy hours. You don't allow it to consume you. How many of you have heard of the concept of circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm. This is why I love to teach people, because even if I create written articles, I may not be able to really divulge the level of depth that I want to communicate. All right. I hope you understand now. So let's look at the circadian rhythm. How many of you know the concept of circadian rhythm? CIRCADIAN, circadian rhythm. Okay, there are different ways we function as humans, but circadian rhythm has to do with how you expend energy all through the day. All right. There are some people they have more energies in the morning. There are some is in the afternoon. There are some is in the night. Right. There are some is in the night. Okay. So what kind of a person are you? When do you normally have energy? So if you, yes, that's the right spelling. You do. Thank you. So if you're the kind of person who usually have energy in the morning, it means that you would have to focus more on your one thing, your non-negotiables in the morning, right? If your main energy level peaks at noon time, you would have to focus on that in the noon time. If it's in the evening, you would have to. Okay. For me, it's usually in the morning, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'm awake to do my deep work. I do my deep work. I'm pacing up and down. I'm reading. I'm meditating. I'm praying. That's my peak hour, right? Not in the noon time. But in the evening, I somehow peak, but I really do not do my non-negotiables in the evening. I can do my enablers in the evening because I still have some kind of energy in the evening. Then in the noon time, in between, is when I get to do my maintenance task. I started as a coach, as a businesswoman. I get to reach out to my people. We send emails with my team. We do routine meetings. If we're to pay bills, we do that. All right. So that is the major thing we do for maintenance to keep the business running, to keep ourselves running. But when it comes to the non-negotiables and the enablers, I do them in the morning and the evening. So you're going to look at your circadian reading from today and begin to study your energy zones. Look at yourself. When do I have much energy? When do I have much capacity? Okay. When do I have much capacity? So that I can truly zone in at this level. Okay. That's not on our slide. I just wanted to add that for you. Okay. So the level 4 are your distractions. Most of your day here is spent. Many people spend times on social media. You're going to stop spending time on social media once you get into my circle, right? Once you get into my circle, you have time for everything. Because I'm going to give you assignments. I'm going to coach you. It's capacity building. Now it's back to back. It's capacity building. Yesterday, we see how the coaching call with members of my community, even though they showed up here, right? We see how the call. We reviewed our book of the month yesterday. Do you see that? For a few minutes, and it was impactful. All right, and it was impactful. So you must be ready. You must be ready to let go of distractions. Okay. Many a times, if you do not know how to manage your distractions, it is going to consume you. That's the level 4. It's going to consume you. So this is the matrix I was talking about, the Eisenhower. The Eisenhower. Is it hour or hour? The Eisenhower matrix. I think I'm correct. Eisenhower matrix. We have the urgent plus important. Okay. If you've read this book if you want to learn in details about the Eisenhower matrix, go and read this book, um, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Then you do a combo with the you can do a combo with the first thing. Is it the first thing? First thing first. Sorry. First things first by the same author, Stephen Covey. Those 2 books, they're going to help you navigate all that I have shared around urgent plus important, not urgent plus important. You can see the matrix, you can see the combination. If the task is urgent and it's important, you do it now. Those are non-negotiable, your level 1. You see that? So if the task is not important, it's not urgent, but it is important, you schedule for later. Okay, that's what we talk about your enablers, isn't it? If it is urgent and not important, you delegate. All right, it's urgent but it's not important. It's urgent that you reply to emails, right? It's urgent but it's not that important. It's not that important. But if it's an email for $1 million, it's important. Yes, the 7 habits. Yes, combined with first thing first. By let me put that up. Thank you, Uju. I think I saw some questions. Should I answer them now or after the class? Okay. Someone says, "How do one make step to grow that those around me haven't taken?" I'm trying to understand your question. Um, how do one make step to grow that those around me haven't taken? Just keep growing. Show up in communities. Yes. Create your own. There's what we call identity circles. Yes. There's what we call identity circles. Whenever I'm talking about identity and becoming, there's a program, there's a course where I teach on identity and becoming. All right. One thing I always tell people, you have to have an identity circle. And as remember, your purpose is not a destination, it's a direction. So as you ascend that ladder of growth, your circle would also be influenced by it. That's the truth. It will be influenced by it. People who were my friends many years ago, they can still be my friend right now because I have a large heart. I know how to navigate relationships, but most of the times the conversation may not be connected. So as a result, you just have to let go. So your identity circle, you've got to be deliberate. You must curate it in every season. You must curate the right people in your circle in every season. If there's a certain height you want to climb, and so as God will help you, you'll be deliberate about that. Okay. So your urgent plus not important is where you delegate. And then your not urgent and not important, you can delete those ones. Those are your level 4 stuff. You can delete them. Okay. High performance live within the first level and the second level. Like I said before, they live within the first and second level. They find a way to delegate every other thing. They find a way to delegate them. Yes, high performance. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they do, and it's really, really powerful. So, how do you find your one thing? So, let's carry out this activity. I'd like you to ask yourself, how do I find the one thing? How do I begin to find the one thing? What activity, if done consistently, will transform my life in 12 months? Okay, what activity, what activity, what activity, when you do it consistently in the next 12 months, will change your life? Tell me. Tell me, there's no year I don't read. Even when we put out reading challenges, I'm the number one person to read. Yes, so I will not be waiting for you. I must read. Family, I must read. It's important. So one of my major things that I do, my non-negotiable every year, is that I read. I will subscribe to platforms that I read with. Yes, I read. Very, very important. It's important. It's a non-negotiable for me. Okay, somebody says learning a new tech skill, interesting. Reading habits, yeah, you should be in that reading challenge. Okay, for those of you that will join the inner circle, you're going to have access to the reading challenge for free. So if you're not joining us, good, you pay for the reading challenge. If that's fine by you. Okay, interesting. We would love to have you in. Welcome aboard. I want to bring your fire to the circle. Okay, so reading daily, interesting. Even if it's for 10 minutes, even if it's for 15 minutes, you must be willing to read. You must be willing to read. That is one activity. So for you, go and identify your own. What is that one activity you must do every single year to shift you into doing the one thing effectively, to getting results? Okay, somebody said sewing. Interesting. Wow, I love that. I love that. So that one thing you must do it. Now the next thing is, what are you avoiding because it is hard? What are you avoiding because it is hard? But you know it matters. You know that thing matters to you. What are you avoiding? Go and read Eat That Frog. Okay, you guys will be like, this woman, why are you always recommending book? I've recommended more than 10 books since yesterday. Is it up to 10? It's up to 10, type 10. I hope you're writing down those titles. Okay? All right. Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog. You need to go read that book. Okay? Do the hard things first. That's also a book. It's similar to the concept of Eat That Frog, right? It says do the hard thing first because those are the things that usually will bring results. And that's why we sabotage our ways out of them. We procrastinate. We sabotage through procrastination. I'll do it later. Oh, I don't have enough resources and all of that. We just says I'm avoiding to write my book. Okay, you need to get a coach to hold you accountable. It's important. You need to do that. All right. So you must be ready to do the work. What one thing would make everything else easier for you? That is how to find your one thing. What one thing? Please take a screenshot of this very slide so that you can go do the assignment after now. Okay. Somebody says taking major risk. You have to tell us the risk. Okay. I must be willing to read. Faith, yay! Faith is welcome to read. Not getting the the design concept well. Okay. Oh, Landry says I've read either for interesting. That's great. Okay. Taking more major decisions. Beautiful. Okay. Taking major decisions. Okay. We have a program that is going to be majorly on decision making. Okay. Faith, remind me. If you're here, just type it in my room. Yes, decision-making events. Just about decision-making. Because I know that a lot of people are making drastic mistakes because they don't know how to make decisions. It's very difficult for a lot of people to make proper decisions. So it's going to be an immersive conversation like this, how to make proper decisions. Okay, so yeah, taking major decisions, do the hard things, interesting. That's it. That's it. Okay? What one thing would make everything else easier? Okay, it's very, very important. So, the power of one focused day. If you dedicate one full day per week to your one thing, no emails, no distractions, no phone calls, you are going to get a lot of results. Deep work sessions of 3 to 4 hours. There's also, we have deep work where we do 3 to 6 hours. So there's also what we call the EPD. I do EPD as well, or EPN. Okay, EPD stands for Extreme Productivity Day. EPN stands for Extreme Productivity Night. You see all of these strategies I'm sharing. You're not going to implement all of them at a go. You're going to begin to take them one step at a time. But remember, your one thing first. Okay, your one thing first. Once you can do the one thing first, every other thing will follow. Okay, every other thing will follow. Once you can do your one thing, then you now begin to understand what is to bring on board. Oh, you want to write? Beautiful. Is your one thing for the month. So what are your enablers? What do you need to bring together? What are you going to delegate? What are you going to let go of so that you can get better? Okay, so that you can get better. So you must be able to do deep work. And then another thing you also have to understand is saying no without feeling guilty. I think we're going to talk about the no framework. The no framework. Saying no without feeling guilty. Every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to something that does. I like you to write that in your note. Every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to something that matters. Okay? So you are not being selfish by saying no. You are being strategic. Okay? You are being strategic. I see that quote there by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs says, focus means saying no. Focus means saying no. Interesting. That's what it means. Focus means I am saying no to so many things. That's why I said focus is a magnifier. There is nothing you focus on that will not make your life get better. There's a book by Daniel Goleman. The title of the book is Focus. Focus. How many of you know Daniel Goleman? Daniel Goleman that wrote Emotional Intelligence. He also has a book called Focus. You can go get it. All right. So one thing that has helped me over the years, in any area of life I want to build capacity, I will stack up materials and read. Oh my God. There's a strategy for reading at that level. Okay? There's a strategy for reading at that level. It's not part of this curriculum. But I want you to know that if there's an area you need help, when we keep talking about focus, this is productivity. So there's nothing else we will talk about. It's to emphasize it till it gets into your subconscious, till you are rewired in your system, right? Till your vagus nerve begins to communicate to your brain cells, to your capillaries, to your aorta, to your spirit, to your everything, that this is it. And then you'll be like, I get it now. I get it now. Because if you don't get to that level where it becomes a strategy to say no, then you have not started. You have not started. Do you see that? So this is a no framework. This is, I don't know if you can see it. Does this align with my one priority? That's the first thing you have to know. If it does not, decline. The no framework says at number one, if it does not align with your one thing, remember your one thing, your one thing. If it does not align with your one thing, delete. Operation delete. Now the next thing is, will this compromise my values? First of all, remember what we talked about yesterday. If you have not done your value analysis, okay? If you have not done it, you have to go back. Will this compromise my values? If yes, decline. Number three, is this their urgency or mine? So sometimes when you're being pressured to do certain things, you just realize that it is not your own urgency. It's not. It's not your urgency. Somebody sends you a message online, maybe through your email or through or whatever, and then you're like, oh, you're pressured to reply. No. Is it your urgency or your own urgency? All right? It's not my urgency. So why should I be in a hurry to reply? Why should I be in a hurry to say to somebody's flashing your number? It's giving you 10 missed calls. Is it your urgency? It's not your urgency, right? If the person wants to get to you, they know how to get to you if it's actually their urgency. Do you see that? So the next thing you have to understand is that if it is not your urgency, you can what? Decline it. If it doesn't align with your current priorities, you have to protect your focus. You must protect it in 2026. Type in the comments, protect your focus. Protect your focus. In 2026, protect your what? Focus. You see the way sabotages protect your identity because it doesn't want you to break even. All right? It doesn't want you to break even to a new level. To a new level. That is the way you should protect your focus because you are moving to another level. Yes, the reason a lot of us have not been able to break even, we keep having a disrupted sort of journey, a disrupted framework in a way that we start as something today, tomorrow we are disconnected, we start feeling overwhelmed, and then we don't stay fluid on that journey. It is because there is an identity that is being protected by sabotages like procrastination, low self-esteem, limiting beliefs, and of course our identity as a result of the inner narrative that we tell ourselves consciously and unconsciously. And for you to move to a new dimension, you need to update that identity, right? That is why I teach becoming. You need to update it because it's all about becoming at the end of the day. Mhm. Even the word of God says, as you continue to look into that image, you are being translated, you are being transformed from glory to glory, from one level to another. So it's not a static thing. All right. God is more interested in your becoming than in what you think it's a present conditioning. Right? God is more interested in who you become at the end of the day than the status quo that you wear as a mask. So what sabotages does is to protect that identity. It is called identity protection. It protects it so you don't break even. All right? It is doing you good in its own way because the body craves familiar. The body craves the familiar. Okay? Nobody wants to leave their comfort. Okay? It's so sweet. The emotion is so sweet. You romance it all the time. Okay? Even when they're telling you, oh, it's okay, they broke your heart, move on. You're like, I cannot move on. No, it's not easy to move on. There is an identity protection because there's an inner narrative that you have updated yourself with. Do you see that? So you also must be deliberate about protecting your focus by understanding the no framework. Just go into it. Coach Faye says the no framework. I must let go of what is not my urgency. Okay? I must let go of what is not my urgency. I must let go if it is not my one thing, if it is not my non-negotiable. I should simply decline it. Yes, body craves the familiar. Thank you for that. It does crave the familiar. Do you see that? So you must be ready to what? Do the needful. You must be what? Ready to do the needful. So we are almost done. We're wrapping up. So let's move on to our slide. Okay, our next slide. We're going to be rounding off after this. Okay, the three types of time you must identify. Okay, let me go back. The three types of time you must what? Identify. Okay, these are the three types of time blocks. We have the focus time, the admit time, and then we have what? The restoration time. Write them down. It's like the FAR framework, FAR. Okay, for those of you that have gone through some of my reading programs, I've always touched on the need for you to understand how to surely begin to deliberately understand how to use acronyms to learn fast. FAR, the FAR framework. So the focus time, F is for focus, then A is for admin, and then R is for restoration. Okay, is for restoration. So your focus time is where you do your deep work. Your admin time is for emails and all of that. Like I said, during the new time. So some of those things I do by myself, someone can help me do some of them. Of course, I have people do some of them for me. For example, I don't send emails, I don't do certain things. I have people do that for me, right? And then your restoration time can be the time where you connect to family and all of that. This will also help you while you are navigating your energy, your circadian rhythm. Okay? So, in conclusion, this is your what? This is your assignment for today. your day 2 action steps. I'd like you to go do this. This is your action step for today. You're going to identify your one thing, and then you're going to design your ideal week. So that also give us framework for designing our ideal week. You're going to list 3 things to say no to. Okay, I'd like you to do number 1 and number 3. Identify your one thing, number 1. Number 3, list 3 things to say no to. And then schedule first focused block of time. Okay, I like to schedule that. Do you see that? It's going to be easy for us to do this. I don't want to overwhelm us. Identify your one thing. Beautiful. We're already identifying it in this class. List 3 things you're going to say no to. Okay, that is stopping you from achieving your one thing. And then schedule your first focus time. Is that clear? Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Have you learned something today? Yes, it's been a beautiful conversation. Productivity webinar series is getting hotter. If it's getting hotter, type hot. Type hot, hot, hot. It's getting hotter. Like I can see us breaking even. Really beautiful. So you're gonna schedule that. You're gonna structure that Moranugba princess so that it can become easier for you to navigate going forward. All right. So okay, let me go back to that slide so that I can write it down. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about the art of elimination. How to eliminate distractions ruthlessly. We're going to look at that tomorrow because I've said a lot, letting go of distractions and all of that. Okay, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to go deeper into that conversation. How to eliminate distractions. We're going to talk about it because if we do not eliminate, we're still going to struggle, whether we like it or not. We have distractions all around us. Okay, we have distractions all around us, and if we do not know how to eliminate that, it's going to be difficult. I'm still going to be recommending materials tomorrow that you can read as well, okay, to help you go deeper into this conversation. So family, I want to celebrate. Some people are like just back at the back. It's like there's a lag in their network. But nonetheless, once you get here, we are done. Thank you so much for coming. So one thing I want you to know is that we have a lot in the community that can really help you stay committed and productive to be able to build capacity. Okay. And that's why I created the Growth Garden. The Growth Garden is my 1-year membership program. You pay once and you're good to go. Yes, you are good to go. We also have opportunity for you to pay twice if you want to. We'll give you a month interval to complete your payment, and then you can get into the community to learn with us. We read, we learn. I coach every week. There's no week I don't coach there. There's no week you will not hear my voice. Okay, I coach every week. You have access to our library. You have access to more recommendations and a whole lot. So it's a place for those who want to build capacity. If you are tired of your circle, like somebody asked the question, and you want to join, you're welcome, Timothy. And you want to join us in that circle, you should come on board. Yeah, you're going to meet new members, new family members from different part of the world who would also help you grow. We're a small circle. We're not in our on thousands, right? We're still growing in numbers, but we know that you are meant to be there in this very season. Okay? There's so much to help you build yourself. If you're not doing it now, you are going to a demand is going to be laid on you later. It's going to be laid on you, and you may not have the capacity to carry on. Like the word of God says, if you faint in the days of adversity, it means your strength was small. It means your strength is small. We do not want to carry on the things that we can begin to do tomorrow because we refuse to build capacity today. Okay? Okay? Somebody says, I'm still writing the action step. Okay, let me go back. This is it. You're going to identify your wants. You take a screenshot so you don't waste time writing. Okay? Landing, so you send me a DM to join us. So join us in the community, the Growth Garden. It will help you. Okay, stay grounded. So quickly write the assignment. So we're going to open the group so you can share your thoughts. You can share 1 or 2 in the group. Okay? So you can share 1 or 2 in the group. So you can share 1 or 2 in the group from your feedback today. So today, you're going to tell us what you learned from the class. Don't give us your action steps. Okay? It's for you. It's for you to consume. Go through your action step on your own and If you have questions, you can ask me class tomorrow, not today, not in my inbox. You can ask in class tomorrow. Okay. So we're going to open the group for you to share your feedback. Favor, please go ahead and open the group so that they can share their feedback from today's class, what you've learned, what stood out for you, what you're going to implement. Yeah, it's the most important thing. What you're going to implement. How do you intend to bridge your gap? How do you intend to work with the priority pyramid framework that I shared with you? How do you intend to Chisom, please join the membership. Okay. Favor would also share the link to the details for the membership, so you can go read about it and register. Sign up. Okay, you can sign up on our platform on the site, or you can also send me a DM if you want to pay twice. You're welcome. Welcome that as well, so that you can be in the community. It's $100 for the rest of the year. That's for Nigerians, 150,000 naira. Okay, you pay once and you have access to everything, the books, and everything in the community, the coaching and all. Okay. I hope that's clear, Chiso. Did you get that? But if you also want to ask me questions around the membership, you can send me a DM. You are free to send me a DM. Maybe you want personalized answers, you are free to send me a DM. Okay. Okay, so when you share your feedback, I will read in the room. I'll be so glad to see that. Thank you so much. Favor, you're also going to share with me the most active person today. Yeah. And I'll give the person the book Purpose Project Workbook so that you can go structure what it is that God is laying in your heart for the season. You see, you hear me always talking about the need for you to do, the need for you to engage, right? Because there's no capacity building without engagement. That's the truth. Because every knowledge you interact with will definitely place a demand on you. It will. There's no knowledge that doesn't place a demand on the individual. It will. It will. So the essence of learning is so that you two can grow up and become a blessing. In the areas you are still struggling, it's so that you can receive healing to become a blessing. One of the things that they teach us in coaching schools is that we need to receive healing in certain areas before we can help people. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. It is what it is. So when you grow yourself, every one person in this community, every one person in this community, I'm not even kidding. There is a tendency that there is a community, there is a platform, there are people, there is a family, there's a relationship, there's a whatever that you have been sent to bring healing to. That's the truth. Otherwise, you will not be interested in something like this. All right. My framework on personal development, my 12 months framework curriculum, is that when you go through the training, okay, at the end of the day, there is a part of you that would also step into the world of impact. It is what it is. Many of my members in the community, they're also doing one or two in their own communities as well. And we get to support them. We support one another, right? As much as we can. They are also doing something in their own community. Some are coaches, they are leaders, they are mentors, they are pastors. They are what you can think about. They are what you can think about. So they are helping other people in their own communities as well. So it's not just a circle where we come and we are clapping, we are getting excited with ideas every day. Oh, that's deep, that's deep. No, that's not what we are doing there. We learn those things to refine us so that we can become more of a blessing in the area we are called to. Some of us know we have a calling. Yes, you know you have a calling, but you are scared of stepping out. I don't mean preaching in church, right? It could be to children, it could be to teenagers, it could be to young girls, it could be to women, it could be to any category of people. All right. But you're afraid to step up because there is an identity protection. You know, I told you about the identity protection. There's an identity protection. You are sabotaging your way to get by. All right. And you have not been able to break even. What you need is capacity building. When you expand your capacity, that's why I wrote the book, Expand Your Capacity, right? That's why I wrote the book. So when you expand your capacity, did you see the book? When you expand your capacity, right? It's a framework for expansion. When you expand your capacity in different zones per time, you are going to become swift. You're going to become swift because people follow strong leaders. People follow leaders who are ready, who are exceptional, who are dogged, who are doing the work. Mhm. When you expand your capacity, it becomes easier for you to step into your ordination on a deeper level. It becomes easier for you to be swift with the work that has been committed into your hands. Yes, welcome to the community. If anyone will share the link, you can go to it. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I celebrate you. I'm going to see you on the 3 as we talk about the elimination method. Yes, come on board. We're not talking about the mathematics elimination. Maybe it can be applicable. Your guess is as good as mine. Let's meet tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye.